My name's Adele Onyango and welcome to another episode of Legally Clueless. No, seriously, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Hey you, welcome to episode 285 of Legally Clueless, and this is what's coming up a little later in this episode.
I came to Kigali when I was in senior 3, but I grown up with my grandma. It's like 4 hours drive from here.
Oh, wow.
The eastern part of Rwanda. It's actually nearby the Uganda.
Oh, okay.
Uganda border. From home to Uganda is like actually 30 minutes.
So you can say you're kind of Uganda.
Because I was even born from there.
Oh, you were born in Uganda? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the area called?
It's called Nyagatare.
Yeah.
Can you try that?
Nyagatare.
Yes, perfect.
So how comes you lived with your grandmother?
I was born in Uganda, and my dad came in Rwanda to stop the genocide. You know, they came from Uganda.
If you are an OG member, welcome. I've got nothing but love for you. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, welcome to the family. Audio episodes of Legally Clueless God every Monday. We have a second podcast called Midweek Teas that goes out on Wednesdays. And we've just launched a third podcast called Ask a Therapist that goes out every Friday. And that's all right here on our Legally Clueless channel. So make sure you subscribe on whatever podcast streaming app you're using. And of course, if you want to officially join the fam, head over to our website, Legally Clueless Africa, and sign up to be receiving letters from me, aka our newsletter. Last but not least, if you love Instagram and TikTok, if you check out the show notes, there's links to our Instagram and TikTok pages. I do hope you are doing fantastic though. I think I told you this a couple of podcast episodes ago, moving from a space of just pure gratitude. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I told you that the filming of my first ever film went so well. We're currently in post-production. I should probably dedicate an entire episode just telling you about that experience. Yeah, I think I'll probably do that, but I'm very grateful for the chance to just discover different abilities that lie within me, you know? And so every day I'm just waking up with this really deep gratitude for life. I can't explain it past that. Like I literally, when I go to bed, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for tomorrow, more life. No, like seriously, there's nothing spectacular I'm looking forward to. It's just like, wow, I get to do this life thing tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then when I get up and I'm here, I'm just like, yay. I know that sounds pretty weird, but like that's the space I'm in. But what I do want to talk to you about is fitness and nutrition. Okay. So through my GP who you've met on the podcast and in our wellness talk, sorry, there's like an eyelash threatening to hum my eye. Give me a second. Okay. I'm back. Through my GP who you've met on previous podcast episodes, and she spoke at our last wellness talk. And I've told you about the entire breakdown I had last year. Through her guidance, it became very apparent that I was taking so much care of my mental health, which you know, my intentional healing, my therapy, all the mindful exercises, all of that. I was doing it, right? But I wasn't doing enough exercise, like physical exercise or eating right, to be honest. Now, I do not like cooking. Like, I'm not even going to pretend to like it. I don't like it. I don't, okay? And last year, I tried to get my eating right. So I got this chef to be coming home once a week to cook for me, right? And it started off pretty well. He works at a super high-end hotel in Nairobi. And so I was like, what? I've scored such a deal. And he would cook really great dishes. To be honest, his food was out of this world. His chapatis were just so delicious. But unfortunately, I had to terminate that contract. It started off very subtly, like he would, okay, first and foremost, I live in the middle of nowhere. I think people underestimate when I say that. Like on the road I live on, there is one matatu. If you're not from Kenya, matatu is like our public transport vans or buses, right? There is one. And so you have to have the driver's number. And since it doesn't make sense for him to constantly be moving up and down our road, you call him and then you have to either be leaving in the morning when he's picking, let's say, a few kids here and there to take them to the town, or in the evening when he's bringing them back. During the day, you're not going to find that man on this road. So there's that. So I had to like kind of figure out how he's going to get to the house. And sometimes, well, at the very beginning, I would pick him from like a nearby town and bring him home. But then that started being weird. Like he would say just like weird one-liners on like what I was wearing or how I looked. And I remember I did what I thought was the mature thing. I called it out and I said, hey, you're here to do a job. That's not right. Like, I think you're getting too comfortable. Please don't. And in my head, I was like, this man is like in his 50s. I don't know, like, age, wisdom. Anyway, so after that kind of was uncomfortable, I got an alternative means for him to like get to my house, which is cool. Now, I remember my person being like, hey, I don't think like this guy should be cooking in your house. Like, why can't he cook in his house and then like bring whatever he's cooked? And I was like, I want to make sure he's using the spices I like, because I might not like cooking, but I do have standards for how I want my food to taste. I'm a very picky beggar. I may not cook, but the food has to come out a certain way. So anyway, I'm like, no, let him just come, I'm laughing because it's just so foolish how it transpired. Anyway, let him just come. I want him to use my ingredients and, the things. I know where I buy, like at the time I was heavy into chicken. I know where I want my chicken bought, all these things. Yeah. He just listens to me. He's like, cool. Anyway, may have told you. And then I go and like talk to one of my close girlfriends and I'm like, can you imagine he was asking me to tell the guy to cook elsewhere? And those memes for two Delulu friends who just tell each other Delulu things. We're like, yeah, men don't understand. We want them to use our ingredients. And we just kind of like hyped each other up. So this guy kept coming to my house. And then one day, I remember it was a Sunday, he comes and he doesn't have his apron. He used to come with all the stuff he needs to cook. He didn't have his apron. Then he asked me like, when he gets to the house, like, do you have an apron? Blah, blah, blah. At the time, I hadn't fully unpacked all my boxes. It took me like 2 years to fully move into this house, right? And so I was like, yeah, I do have aprons, but I don't know where my aprons are. I haven't unpacked. In my head, I was a bit irritated because I'm like, where? You knew where you were coming. Why didn't you bring your tools? This man then says, do you mind if I cook like shirtless? I'm sorry, what? First and foremost, that's bullshit because you're going to be frying shit. Who fries stuff like around oil, shirtless? Number two, I live in a super cold area. Like, it's very cold. No one walks around shirtless. So what are your intentions? So I panic, right? Because again, like, I live alone. And I call like the caretaker. And I'm just like, first and foremost, I didn't really like that caretaker, but I'm like, hey, at this point, I have no options. Called him and I'm just like, could you just hang around at the front of my house until this guy's finished? I didn't want to tell him to leave my house because chapatis. And so I just like stayed in my living room, which is close to my front door. Yeah, that was the last time he came to my house because I was just like, okay, I will never, ever let anyone make me feel unsafe in my own home. My home has become like my safe space. I love my home so much. And yeah, I just kind of remember the feelings that day of just like, when will this man be finished? He needs to get out, and just having this lump in my throat and just feeling so unsafe. And so I was like, he can never come back to my house. But yeah, so that ended. And I just kind of like gave myself time where I would like cook for myself, but I don't enjoy cooking. And so that meant my diet suffered a bit, right? Anyway, I have gotten someone else. Woo! who is amazing. I'm currently working to fully get rid of meat in my diet. I was full vegetarian for 6 months last year into this year, and then I took a break. But I want to get back to it. And this current person who's doing my meal preps, she is so playful with veggie dishes. You know, I find that some people lack range when it comes to making vegetarian dishes, and they can be bland or monotonous. Not with her. It's fantastic. And she like listens to, she's like, did you like this? Okay, let's tweak this. Like, I love it. I love it so much, you know. So I'm eating so well, so well. And by the way, in case you're looking for someone to do meal preps for you, just comment wherever you're listening to this or hit us up on Instagram. I like her so much, I'm willing to like plug her. So let me know. Anyway, I've also been doing daily morning walks for the last month and a half. And so I kind of downloaded this Google Fit app, and I have to hit like 5,000 steps per day, which I do. Sometimes I even surpass. They're like mornings, especially if it's a morning where I'm fully working from home and I can do maybe a walk for an hour plus. I've surpassed the 5,000, but like if it's a day I'm going into town for something, blah, 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 I can only do an hour walk. It means I'm probably going to hit 5,000 steps or like 6,000 steps. Yeah, and so I do that every morning. As much as I live somewhere where currently it's super cold, despite the fog and whatever, I wake up to do my walk religiously, and I love it. Like, it's not even something where I have to negotiate with myself of like, please, Adele, please wake up. No, like my alarm goes off, and I'm like, woohoo, let's go for this walk. Let's do this, you know? I know outside of the walk, I do need to add a workout that helps me build muscle, because I understand that that's important, especially for women to do as we age. And that's where Shiv comes in, right? You may know him as Shiv Simani. He is a Kenyan fitpreneur, right? A fitness coach. He does nutrition and just like so much more. He's currently working on some amazing stuff as well that I'm not sure I should share just yet. So I'm going to hold on to that lest he's not launched it and I'm here just spilling the beans. Anyway, he's going to be our speaker at our next wellness talk. That's always virtual, right? So wherever you are in the world, you can plug in, and we're curating the questions we want him to address to make sure that it's smack on point of what you have always wanted to know when it comes to your fitness and your nutrition. I feel like the earlier we get into some form of a fitness routine, the earlier we start thinking about what we're feeding our bodies, our lifestyle habits, the better our older years will be. That's something I think about a lot, you know? It's probably one of the reasons I've completely cut out alcohol from my diet, and just like really thinking about the food I put into my body, moving my body. As much as it feels beautiful now, I'm also aware I'm doing it because I'm like, I really want to age gracefully. Personally, over here on this end. Those are the plans I have for myself, you know? And I'm really excited about this wellness talk. So if you have any questions for him, if there's something you're battling with in terms of your fitness, maybe it's weight loss, maybe it's weight gain, maybe it's building muscle, maybe it's knowing what foods to eat, what foods to avoid, whatever the question is, drop it in the comments of this episode, or you can send them to our Instagram page, and we're just curating them so that by the time the wellness talk comes around, he's gonna be addressing the questions that you want answered, because we're doing this specifically for you. Yeah, do that. The wellness talk is going to be in September. We're going to announce the dates in the next episode. Okay, back to this episode. Our East Africa tour series is live. I'm super excited. Please go to our YouTube channel and watch the first 2 episodes that are already out. And by being part of this family, we'd really appreciate it if you share our YouTube channel with your peeps, right? So what's going to be happening is for the next couple of weeks, you join us as we weave through Uganda, Rwanda, and Ethiopia. And I'm very excited about this because we meet inspiring people. We listen to their inspiring stories. And we also get to experience the food, the music, the history of these countries, which was so expanding for me. And for this East Africa tour, we teamed up with Mastercard Foundation and also the Forum for Africa Women Educationalists. You may have heard of them. They're also known as FAWE. Mastercard Foundation has a program called the Scholars Program, and they help build the next generation of transformative leaders by making sure they have access to higher education, right? And they really try in the program to cultivate these people's leadership potential. And so every storyteller you will hear in the episodes are graduates of the Scholars Program. And they have various implementing partners when it comes to this program. FAWE is one of them, all right? And FAWE, they're no stranger to this. They've been working in the space of promoting education for 30 years. So this is something that's right down their alleyway. Episode 2 of our tour series is officially out, and we're in Kigali for this one. And we get to meet an inspiring Rwandese woman. Her name is Winfred. And her story, oh my goodness, is just so powerful, especially when you hear the sacrifices. You know, sometimes we hear about the genocide in Rwanda and we approach it like something from a history book. We forget that there are stories and lives and families behind that incident. You know, Winfred's story starts off there with her dad coming back to Rwanda to help end the genocide. And so it was just marvelous hearing her story. And I also got to, in this episode 2, take on my fear of heights through ziplining. Believe it or not, I don't think I'd ever ziplined before. No, I hadn't. I don't know if I'll do it again. How did ziplining go? Oh my days. You know what? I'll let you be the judge of how it went. You'll hear exactly how it went right now. Legally Clueless is back on the road, and in this episode, we're in Rwanda. This time, we've teamed up with Mastercard Foundation and the Forum for Africa Women Educationalists, also known as FAWE, to bring you powerful stories from East Africa. We're going to meet young Africans who are all graduates of the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, which is a global initiative designed to develop the next generation of transformative leaders by enabling high-talented, service-oriented young people, primarily young Africans, to pursue higher education and cultivate their leadership potential. FAWE, one of the many partners implementing this program, has been working in Africa for 30 years to promote education for girls and women. And on this tour, we get to meet some of the young people who, through this program, have been able to unlock their potential. I'm excited to be here since it's been over 5 years since I was last in the country of 1,000 hills. And I think this time, I'll do a lot more exploring. In the spirit of exploring, I decided to check out one of Kigali's most recommended spots. So today I've come out to Fazenda in Kigali for a bit of an adventure. It's an activity-filled place where you can do paintball, you can do archery, painting, you can ride horses and so much more. But what I'm going to try is ziplining. Okay, so far, I absolutely love Fazenda. 1, it's on a hill, so you're seeing a beautiful view of Kigali. 2, you cannot be bored here. There's so much for you to do. So it's definitely a must-visit place in Kigali. Right now, I want to focus on ziplining because I've never done it before. And me and heights are not exactly friends, so let's see how that goes. I sit like that. And will you push me? If you don't push me, I won't go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, give me 2 seconds. Okay, fine. I don't know, like when you get to the end, you're like, this was fun. But the beginning is not fun because it's like 1 minute there's ground and then the next there's none and there's just like trees and bushes and like... But I'm very proud I did it because I'm scared of heights, but I managed to do it. Would I do it again? I don't know. So Fazenda definitely gets 5 stars in my books. It must be on your list of places to visit. So definitely make sure it's on your list of places to go to when you're in Kigali. I ended up enjoying myself at Fazenda so much that I figured I'd bring Winnie, a bubbly Rwandese lady here, to get to know more about her inspiring story.
And so let's start with your upbringing. Have you always lived in Kigali, or did you live elsewhere? Maybe your family is elsewhere and then you came to Kigali for uni or for work?
I came to Kigali when I was in senior 3, but I grown up with my grandma. It's like 4 hours drive from here.
Oh, wow.
The eastern part of Rwanda. It's actually nearby the Uganda.
Oh, okay.
Uganda border. From home to Uganda is like actually 30 minutes to the border.
So you can say you're kind of Uganda.
Because I was even born from there.
Oh, you were born in Uganda? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the area called?
It's called Nyagatare.
Yeah.
Can you try that?
Nyagatare.
Yes, perfect.
So how comes you lived with your grandmother?
I was born in Uganda, and my dad came in Rwanda to stop the genocide. You know, they came from Uganda.
Yeah.
There's the big team. So, but I was born there.
Yeah.
Then my mom passed away. So
Sorry.
they had, it's okay. So they had to send me to Rwanda. And that was my grandma who was there, who was here. So I actually don't know my mom because I've grown up with my grandma. Like since day one, I know my mom on the photos, but I've never met her. So that's when I've grown up with my mom, my grandma from day one. So.
And when you came, did you reconnect with your dad or...
Yeah, I did because they had to stop genocide. Genocide was stopped by the Aldi family. Yeah. And then the life started again. The life started again. My dad couldn't even get married. He was like, no, I need to get married when Winnie has already grown up and the big girl. Yeah. Yeah. He got married when I was in senior 3.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I came to Kigali. That's when he got me a school here in Kigali. And during the school time at school, but then after, I go back to see my grandma because she's the only mom I know. And yeah.
And so you do your primary school there?
Yeah, I did my primary school there. My senior 1 and senior 2, I remember my dad had a mission and he was like, this time if you win, like you're the first in class, I'll take you to Kigali. I was like, yo.
Motivation.
Yeah. So I remember I did senior 1, I passed. Then senior 2 was like, do senior 2, then I'll come and take you to Kigali. Because that was like a promise. He had to work hard for that. Because then that's when I came to Kigali, but then I got like a scholarship as well. Yeah. It was called Food for the Hungry. Yeah. Not sure if you ever heard of it. So I got that scholarship from actually P4.
Oh, wow. Until senior
3.
So what was like your first impression now you're in senior 3 and you're coming to school in Kigali? When you arrive, what are some of the feelings you're feeling? Are you feeling excited? Are you a bit scared?
I came to Kigali, but I was so excited. But then, and a lot of people were speaking English. This was private school, fancy, bougie. I was like, Jesus Christ. Where am I? I was like, I need to go back home. Yeah. I was excited, but a bit nervous and not like, don't feel like you're part of the group because these are from Kigali. And we actually used to braid our hair and I had no hair and all school, they had braids. Yeah, you know, that feeling. But then I was like, I got a chance to be here.
Yeah. Did you end up settling in, making friends, passing in the studies?
I had to make friends, like, because I felt like if I don't like do something, I might even end up being the last person in the class. And I had other people who came from the same village where I was coming from, and they're like, we made it. They even braided their hair. I was like, I mean, like they supported me like all that journey. Yeah, slowly by slowly things started to work out, but I made it.
Okay. The English came through.
Yeah.
And so when you finish with high school, have you already identified what it is you want to study, what career path you want to take, or are you still trying to find that out?
Because I wanted to be like a pilot. I was like MPG, you do the math, you do physics, and you do geography.
Yeah.
So I did the national exam, I passed, I got the MPG. But then again, I couldn't afford that because the scholarship I got, they were like, no, we can't do this anymore. And I couldn't go there. I couldn't go there. Then I was like, let me settle. I'll go somewhere near where I can study, I can proceed with my school. And that's when I got another scholarship for Fawe and Mastercard Foundation, because there are a lot of different organizations coming to the village to give different scholarships. We apply, some ask us money, it fails. We were used of like those organizations coming to the village, like we're giving scholarships to the smart girls here. So that's when my grandma heard of that. And then she was like, let's try this. But remember, then we've tried from different. But now these people did not ask us money.
Yes.
And the rest of the other organization used to come and say, you're paying this amount of money for your documents to print. We didn't even know what is printing.
Yeah.
It might be a good thing.
Yeah.
So, and then we waited.
Yeah.
They called my dad. Yeah, then they're like, have meeting, come to REP, the Rwanda Education Board. I didn't even know where that was. But let's go
all
there.
that matters is you've got the scholarship.
Let's go there. Let's go there. I was so excited. And then they said it's a full scholarship.
Yeah.
Do you, do you imagine that feeling? Like, you don't even know where you're going to get even one book. And you're like, full. I won't even scream again. Like, that's full scholarship. I was like, what does that entails?
Yeah.
Full scholarship, what does it entails? Like, they're going to give you pocket money, they're going to give you a mattress, bed cover, like, literally everything you would need to go to school. Suitcase, like, big one. That was my first suitcase. It was so big.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, choose the school where I want to go. Hey, that was like the heaven opening up for us. Like, I mean, it felt like you admire different schools up there.
Yeah.
You're like, how am I going to go there? And that's how I came to Fawe.
Yeah.
Yeah. To some extent, you feel like it wasn't a burden, but now I felt like I have to prove. Like all those small excuses you would make. Now you have no room to make any excuse. You have to perform. And they actually gave us marks that you can't go below 70 and up. And we're like, it's a new school. I felt like I'm blessed. And really so blessed, because even reflecting from where you're coming from, and I feel like now it looks that the future is bright and better.
When you finish, what comes next?
I got the scholarship in 2014. That was then, and I was in senior 4, senior 5, and senior 6. But then they told us this is like a 10-year scholarship.
Okay.
But those who are going to perform well, they're going to go to university. Like, we'd reach a place and feel like, I'm here, and they're like, the next target is there. Keep going. And reach there like, no, we're still going. They're like, until when? Until when? But then they were like, it's a 10-year, but it's not guarantee for everyone to continue, because you have to perform well. You have to pass senior 6. Math started being like a complicated subject for me. Yeah.
But did you still pass, and then where did you go to now for university?
So I passed.
Yeah.
And then I went to, so the Fawe had like criteria of who's going to proceed with the scholarship. So again, I passed. Then I went to University of Rwanda, the like National University of Rwanda.
And what did you pick to study?
Economics.
Okay. You changed from the pilot. You loved economics so much. Yeah.
But then now I didn't know that economics had math. When I reached there, my dear sister.
That same math was waiting for you.
I called my dad. I was like, how are you doing? I was like, listen, there is math here more than I even expected.
But how was your uni experience? And it's still on the scholarship.
Yeah, it's still on the scholarship. Now they're giving my first bank account. It was from Fawe, and I still have it actually.
Oh wow!
Like in senior 4,
they
opened us bank account.
Yeah,
you know, it was hard to give us like permissions to go outside of the school, but then Fawe girls, being a Fawe girl, woo.
The transition from high school to university can be overwhelming. So it's great that the scholars like Winnie get to have mentors guiding them and holding their hands through the highs and the lows.
Now it's like up to you. It's up to you to make it well or not. But then I had a scholarship. I don't need to rate people down. That was something that I had in my mind from the beginning, from day one. I feel like I don't need to lay down my grandma, my dad. People give me scholarships. Like they've invested in us big time. So that was one of the things that was driving me and all things that I was doing. I don't need to let people down. My dad, my Fawe people, because they really gave us they invested in us, giving us different trainings, the tuseme, the mentoring, the public speaking, oh my God, it was a lot. So I wouldn't say like it was not like a pressure, but it was something that was holding me accountable. To not let these people down, and because they invested in us big time.
Catch more African stories in the next episode of Legally Clueless. I hope you enjoyed listening to Winfred and listening to my screams as I was ziplining. This was not my first time in Kigali, but all the times I've gone have been for conferences. So I hardly had the time to meet people who live in Rwanda and get to make friends, hear stories. This time I did, and that was just so powerful. Winfred and I immediately hit it off. Like, this is someone who I now consider a friend. And after she got into Mastercard Foundation's Scholars Program, guess what? She now works at Mastercard Foundation, which is so awesome. Make sure you watch the full episode that features Winnie and I having an archery match. Who won? Hey! Let's just say I'm going to stick to media. Watch the full episode. It's out on our YouTube, and the link to that is in the show notes. I'd also like to thank Mastercard Foundation and Fawe for partnering with us on this tour. And speaking of East Africa, which is where our tour was, if you're in the Greater East Africa region, you can catch us on Trace FM every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. and 11 p.m. and Fridays at 1 p.m. All you have to do is go to traceradio.co.ke to stream. If you want to share your story on this podcast, in the show notes, there is a link to our storyteller form. Fill it out and one of our correspondents will get back to you. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. You're African, you've got a story, we want to hear it. If you enjoyed this episode, drop us a comment, give us a 5-star review, and don't forget to share it with your people, your friends, your enemies, all of them. That's it for this episode of Legally Clueless. You can share this podcast with your friends. You can keep it for yourself. I'm not judging. Just make sure you're here next week for the next episode.